Test. Am I back on? Sorry, just one. Oh, the video was great. Find that dip back. Trim a little bit more there. Hold on. Hold on. I just took off the video just to trade around it. Yeah, just all right, so a lot of nice little day trades. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Real time. That was a nice trade in the video. I feel like view ops at 612. Probably gonna need a little bit of time here and there. Yeah. You want to do a Tesla starter? Anyway, okay. I'm still trying to stay away. What's the Amazon S&P cash ratio? What does that mean? That was a nice sell. How do you know, Brent? How about this? Buy Tesla here, and this is what you do. You put your stop on Tesla right there, 180. Okay, so if it goes sideways and hangs out here and never fills this gap for Tesla, then breaks 180, you get out of the way. Because you have no idea what it could do. You can go to the weekly chart, and this could be 150, 160. It's trending lower. Obviously, a few weeks down, maybe there's a trade there. I'm just saying, if it were me and I was actively trading, which I tried to give these rules to swing traders too, I would say use, I don't. I have my own 401k that I put monthly flows in every single month. My wife has a 403b account. She puts monthly flows every single month, just S&P big cap. I have a Blood on the Street account, which was my first wife's 401k when she worked at UMDNJ until 2012. And then when she left the state system, UMDNJ is a state university, to go into private practice, she wasn't allowed to keep it and she wasn't allowed to input it. So I use that as a special Blood on the Street account where I put it to work literally probably a few times. I don't know if you haven't followed me. I think some people follow me with my Blood on the Street, which is pretty good. I actually just got the statement. It's at an all-time high for her. I only go when it's at least 10% off highs. So this is my regular personal, not the way I get paid for a living. So real quick, regular personal is me as a W-2 from being the chief strategic officer slash founding partner. I have certain accounts, and then I have, regular T3, which is my quarterly trading that I get paid bonuses on that I need to make money, otherwise I bleed, which is a fact. Anyway, so I'll go back here. I post this chart all the time. At 51 years old, this is my long-term life right there. Short-term, this is how I get paid, which goes into my bank account and then goes to some of that, and also monthly. So anyway, during the taper tantrum, I put the Blood in the Street account to work 2 or 3 times. During the pandemic is when I think the Blood in the Street account became famous. Put it to work 2-3 times. And then during here, I think I put it to work twice, got flat, twice, got flat. And then I think, it's called here 1 tier, got flat. And then here I put on 2 tiers, sold 1 tier, and then I have 1 more tier that I'm waiting for over 5,000. Besides that, I also have a whole life insurance policy, which my friend, when he went into what's it called, Strategies for Life, he's like, Red Dog, you need a whole life insurance policy. I'm like, really? So PS 16 years later, I've been putting $14.80 a month into a whole life insurance account. Thank God. I would have spent that money somewhere else. I would have probably spent it on vacations or whatever. Instead, I put it there, and that's turned into a good cash value. And it's not term, it's whole. So God forbid something happens to me down the road, Chase is going to be just fine. So those are my longer term assets. I don't have long-term stocks, because if I had Apple long-term in a brokerage account and I was short Apple with all my T3 trading accounts, there's a compliance issue. So I sacrifice long-term positions personally, but I could have long-term positions in all of these accounts. I have an active account, I have a swing account, which could be my long-term account, but I get paid. So if my longer-term account turns into a long-term account, so I'm wrong, which sometimes people do, they get wrong, and that turns into the long-term account. It'll go against my active account and my swing account, my option account, which then goes against my quarterly paychecks. So with that being said, I try and figure out my time frames where everything kind of comes together. Does that make sense? Capiche? Thanks. It's just, again, it's through time. When I was 25, did I have a whole life insurance policy? No. At 35, I started one. At 30, did my wife have a Blood in the Street account? No, it was just a 401k. At 40, she did. So it takes time through life to develop those things besides being able to make money actively for a living, which is what you see me really navigating here. Docu, someone was talking about Docu the other day. It looked pretty good. Let's see what that looks like now. Ooh, looks pretty good. Hold on a second. Wow. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of chasing it right here. Who's been talking about Docu? Someone's been talking about that. That looks great. Docu looks great. Has that been yours, Dan? Congratulations. Airbnb, take a look at that too. I haven't looked at Airbnb in a while. Airbnb. That looks good too. Nice bull flag breakout. Yeah. What is the IWM look like? Is the IWM holding up today? Not really. As long as this holds just 194, that it's hard for these things holding in here while rates are doing what they're doing still. TLT, hanging here by a thread. Oh, Twilio, hold on, sorry. What about it? Coming a little bit. All right. Any news? The view opposites below it. Hold on. Twilio. Getting tight. You know, not quite triggered yet. Looks pretty good though. Looks like, you know, a feeler, and then at some point, if it starts to go, you can find more above there. Is that a dog? Some of these things are getting better, huh? Yeah. Doji broke up there. It's going to repair. One below here, I guess, you can be long versus that spot. Bottom over C8. Yeah, could be. Pretty big wide range candle. Avago to me is hard, so I'd rather just trade NVIDIA and AMD.
Especially on Friday after
Yeah.
12 o'clock. As soon as I pay you off from that, I'm like $1.
Right. Yeah, it's worth something there. You know, people have done very well. My history of the Vago isn't great. I'm not that great with loose and wide stocks. I'm much better with like thick things that show their signal, and I could trade them better. But that's me. Yeah, it's a, you know, that's a candle that says, hey, we need time here, guys. All right, it's 12:19. I'm a little fried. I'm going to come back. Mike and I are going to do a 2:30 video that we always do. And then, you know, we're going to do a recap, a little happy hour. I'm going to go get some White Claws, maybe some high noons from my buddy. And we'll do a little bit of a recap of the week and have a few laughs, maybe tell a few stories, and, you know, continue to move forward with life. It's not about perfection. It's about a little bit of progress. I think that's what makes everybody happy. I will say I was out to dinner with one of my friends the other night. Guy's super duper rich. It's crazy. It's worth probably 75 million. That's super duper rich. Guy's a little out of shape. Doesn't get along with his wife. He hasn't been around to see his kids play anything, and he's pretty miserable. I was like, all right, you know, I'm pretty happy. I get along with my wife. I get to see my son's games, and I get some satisfaction by helping people. And, you know, maybe I could make more money if I was working at a big hedge fund or doing whatever, but I'm pretty damn happy with my life. So, you know, it's all about the path you choose. And it's not about the size of your, you know, nut, your nest, your wallet. It's about, you know, what makes happy every day. There's a video also I listened to about happiness. Like, okay, what defines success? It's do you wake up happy to go about your day, or do you wake up and hit the snooze button 10 times because you don't want to deal with whatever's in front of you? So different definitions of everything out there these days. I'll be back around 2:30, and thank you for tuning in and dealing with my chitter chatter, and I'll be back later, guys. All right, guys. What up? What up? It is 11:45. Here we are, January 26th. It's Friday. It's been a pretty busy week. A lot going on, a lot to do. Hopefully, some of you that have been here all week made some money. You know, I think we did some pretty good plays. Had a bunch of things coming into this week, so maybe it was hard to, you know, kind of latch on. But we definitely did a few other things and bought dips a few different ways and massage positions a few different ways, which is what we do. You know, I think Chill had some really good day trades. I know some, you know, existing Alpha Team guys also did, as well as, you know, just, you know, even me here and there. So anyway, let me bring you guys over to here so you guys can see what's up, what's up. This is my spot. This is my little light. You know, what we've been pretty much, you've seen the routine and process for the week. You know, I get in at, you know, 6:10, 6:15. I get myself ready for the 6:30 club. I'm just going to trim a little bit of the spies that I bought down there, 40, 15. You probably see that go a little red right there. Just continue to try and make some cash flow. I'm gonna hold the video. And by 6:30, do the 6:30 club for 20 minutes, which is kind of like a morning call, a little abbreviated version. And then, from 6:50 to about 8 o'clock, about an hour and 10 minutes, I listen to music and I do about, 30, 40 charts, which you guys see all above here. It starts in the morning, every morning by like 7:15. You start getting sectors, you start getting stocks, you start getting, all the things that I do. And you could read them and you could, figure out, hey, I did that chart too. It looks similar. Hey, I did that chart. It looks different. Or hey, I wasn't even thinking that. These are all things that I do to make, try and help everyone make everyone money. Just thoughts. If this, then that. If that, then this. Hold on. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Anyway, so a lot of the things that I do are all in there, so that's the charts. And then I usually come on, I do my morning call for Brother All Access. And then that was a nice little move in the spies. So if you buy it right into the VWAP, sometimes you get pleasantly surprised. Anyway, and then at like 8:45, usually I have to talk to the media, or I have to talk to we have a lot of different personalities at T3, or maybe a little bit of life. And then right now at 9 o'clock, I sometimes do a little video like this with you guys. By this point, you've already seen the charts and you've already listened to me. We've already discussed things, so it's just like reiterating things, which is cool. I like to hear myself talk 10 times. No, I'm kidding. And then, 9:15, the radio's on. I trade existing positions, give massage, new positions come on. I try and talk about what I'm doing. Everyone does a little bit of input. And do you have any tips to get started as a funded trader? Take it slow. Who funded you? Did T3 fund you? Did you go somewhere to get funded? How did that work? I usually say, it takes like 6 months or so to at least get it. So the last thing you want to do is lose money over 6 months. So by the time you get it, you're not just making money back that you lost. That sucks. I would also focus on a few different names, just trading back and forth, small size, getting a rhythm, execute, maybe even paper trade a little bit. So you write down your ideas, so you can see if you would have been right, so a lot of those little things. Tesla's nothing here. I drew this morning before. Hold on. AMD was a nice little short up there, wherever that was. It's right here. Anyway, nice trade. So Netflix, by the way, we've done this a bunch of different ways. Here's your pro earnings gap. I've taught this at so many different seminars about how you have a pro earnings gap. You can buy verse 537, gets above the pro earnings high, you get continuation. That happened fast. I haven't been trading Netflix, so I put that out there. So if you go back towards, that's the follow-up. If you go back towards the morning charts, because people are like, Red Dog, you didn't say it. You weren't in Netflix. I'm like, well, here is a Netflix strategy. Yes, I wasn't in Netflix, and I would have made good money if I was, but I was trading NVIDIA and AMD and massaging positions. Hey, look at this Amazon. Isn't that nice? So anyway, Netflix gave a big 562, closed a little off it. Some are long verse 537. We'll see if we can get above and stay above 563. So that was in the morning with all my charts, which you should be reading early on. And then this is the after. There's money there. Anywho, good. I'm glad, Rod. Huh? You're really good at that. Wow, Amazon's good. I'm glad we stay with Amazon. If you see how I rolled out of the 155s this morning, which was for today, I just didn't want to chance it. I rolled into the 165s at 1020 for next week. And then if you go to Amazon at 1020, some people are like, what price was that? That was pretty much down there. So nice little head start. It happens sometimes. Anyway, I'm not going to go over winners and losers, and this is really just to show you what we do every week. of every month of every year, and sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but this is the process. It's not really glitzy and glamoury. Yeah, we listen to music, we have fun, we have some happy hours. Try and give you a little bit about my life, because some of you guys are of all different ages. I've had success with my son because I started him early, so I like to talk about that. I show a little picture of me with a basketball with him when he was like 6 months and a lacrosse stick when he was 2. Now he's playing varsity basketball and varsity lacrosse. So for those of you like a Petros who's got a newborn or this and that, I just say start him early. They don't really love it. You can't push it upon them, but if you feed the animal early, he gets ahead of the game early. MDB, let me take a look. I saw that the other day. It looked pretty good. It's just MDB is just one of those loose and wide stocks that are really hard. So you could either be like long verse here or wait for 426 or 439 or just take some options. So for those of you who are, trying us out for the week, you have any questions? Where's the oscillator? +4. So everything's kind of different. Like the Qs are RSI is very overbought. The spiders a little bit overbought. The IWMs not overbought. XLE not overbought. So it's hard to like use the oscillator as a tool. It's more like you probably could use your day count and your levels better, I would think. Where are the spies right now? The spies are still hanging in here. Stair stepping higher. Held 483 this week, held 485, and I don't know if we're going to push above and just go. I'm pretty comfortable with my 490s that I'm short. Yeah, that was a great buy. I was down here. We bought that. That was a new buy for those of you who are new to the site. Some of you guys were a little upset when you got here on Monday, like, Red Dog, you're in all these things already. How am I going to watch you? I'm like, well, you weren't here last Friday at this time when this channel got taken out and we bought Amazon and Google and some of these things, whatever. But anyway, you got to see things. You got to see a few new things. I think Oxy was a new trade this week. Not a blockbuster, but decent. Sold most. ID, that was a new one. There's always new trades and new things. Obviously, PayPal didn't work yesterday. Did options at lunchtime. Anyway, Qs, hanging in there. We claimed 424, still above the 8-day, which is pretty impressive. Real quickly in the video, that was one of my better trades this morning. Good day trade. Took back 608, letting the 8-day catch up. Probably doesn't get much more than this, but that was a nice move. AMD was a really good trade. I got filled on the bid. 174, and then I reclaim this, and now I guess we can kind of go like this a little bit more now. Give it a little bit more room. This is what 174.16. Still working higher. What does SMCR look like? And looking nice and like a nice bull flag up here with earnings coming out. Just have to be a little careful. Nvidia turned up nicely. That was a nice little buy to view up at 611. Hey, it doesn't always work like this where it's so systematic. Anyway. Hey, I'm in Zoom. Look at that buying right through there. Jeez. Anyway, so that's about rum. Listen, I think you could be a buyer of this thing. I was buying it pre-market here. I think this, let it accumulate, let it build a nice bull flag, and then at some point, it probably takes out to 702 and it's higher. I'm sure there's be a lot of new content providers in there. A lot of people talking smack about it. A lot of people talk, so it could be something. This came public back here. In the $10 range, and it seems like there's not a lot of place to put content or content that's not censored. So anyway, I'll still accumulate in here, try and have a bunch for something else. It might take some time, so just don't get too big. MSOS not doing anything today. Kind of hit a little bit of high. It's a little extended. Obviously, short term, very, very short term. Not a bad thing to take some profits, but if they do get what they're really looking for, from the DEA and from safe banking. I kept showing you the weekly chart. The weekly chart is really where you probably want to figure out where it can go, and that's through here, closer to here, you would think. But again, it's got to get the news. People have been talking about for years. Chart on Amazon. Amazon's doing what we wanted Google to do last week, and it did. Isn't that nice? It's got room. Google last week. I'm still in Google. I'm just not in the stock anymore. I mean the options. We remember 145.21. We were buying it through there last Friday. It's been nice things. Anyway, nice move. Pfizer.
For first-line treatment of advanced bladder cancer, that's PFE
Bladder cancer.
and MRK.
Unfortunately, people would rather listen for Pfizer if they had a pill to lose weight, not bladder cancer, which is just the way this world is. Anyway, Meta's been great. I just haven't, again, bandwidth. How much bandwidth do you have? Meta's just trending. Looks really good. Kind of got away from it because I had a, few.
The opening of iOS to the browser engine is not being planned with your iPhone uses a true AI-powered alternative to Safari. That's OPRA and AAPL.
OPRA? OPRA. What is OPRA? Is that? So almost. Meta's great. Meta's been helping lead the way. Unfortunately, I'm not as involved. I have other things going on. And we'll see. We'll see. Right now, macro trends are higher, aren't they? We're in an active sequence going higher. The S&P is above the 8-21 day. The SPYs are above the 8-21 day. Small caps are participating. Banks have been decent. Macro trends for right now are good. Europe's been strong. Asia just kind of had its first bounce and it's trying to hold it. Can't complain, right? What was the news in opera? Someone just hear that?